This is how not to start a show, everyone. So, awesome. Hey, look, have you ever wondered about the guru? How to search for your guru? How do you pick which guru you go to? We did a wonderful show last week about role models, which kind of is a little bit in a way of a guru in itself. You know, having a role model. So in this show, we're going to talk all about the word guru, what it means, and how do you actually pick your guru? Do you become your own guru? Do you surrender to another guru? All that kind of good stuff, especially on your spiritual path, to learning how to use a guru, or what the role of the guru is on your own spiritual journey. So I look forward to this discussion. Listen, thank you guys so much. If you're brand new to the Akashic page, welcome to our page. I hope that you're connecting and checking out all of the wonderful shows that we have. We've got something every single day for you to uplift you, to inspire you, and to really help you make your spiritual growth a priority, which is our mission here at the Akashic Academy. So thank you so much. We come live to you every single 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I get to spend my Friday mornings making puppets, which if you're brand new to the show, you're going to be like, what the heck is he talking about, making puppets? But you will see just in a sec. So what we're talking about. So I get to spend my Friday with this lovely person, just to the maybe this way or that way. I don't know how it's showing up on your screen, but one of these ways to me. Emily Harrison is the founder and director of the Akashic Academy. She's a great friend of mine. We've got to know each other over the last few years. And it's just been wonderful to hang out every single Friday with Emily, with all of you, to explore spiritual topics that inspire us, that get us thinking, and that really allow us to improve our life, both our inner world and outer world. So, Emily, thank you so much for setting the vision and the space for us to come together here at the Akashic Academy. You're such a fabulous leader. You've got great energy, and I love hanging out with you every Friday. How are you doing today?
I love hanging out with you too, my friend. Thank you so much for wanting to become my partner and help me build what it is that we're building around here. You're quite a dynamic force around here. And while the friendship is exactly what you shared with everybody, guys, we don't always agree. And I want to tell you, that was the basis of this show today, because Nick looked at me sideways. I did a show with Christy Warnick not long ago, who is a fabulous host here at the network, which is part of this amazing vision that we're building, where I said, this is how you become your own guru. And he kind of looked at me sideways like, I don't know about that. So inside of this, was that not a good, like, pirate?
Yeah, I kind of shuddered. You're like, you can become your own guru. And I was just like, oh.
You bristled. So it opens up a great topic to talk about today. Talk about, what is a guru? Should you be your own guru? Should you have other gurus? And it's one of the aspects that I really appreciate about our relationship is that there is this open space and this platform to discuss different aspects of different viewpoints. And I really appreciate how open you are, and just how much you come to the table to start building what we're building here. It's so much fun. I love it. We've just come off of a really cool full new moon, everybody. And new moon is the time when you really plant seeds and you really talk about the vision. And I just love the times when we get together and talk about the expanding vision of what it is that's going on here at the Akashic Academy, because it is fun and expansive, and it creates space for this kind of dialogue when, you know, there are different viewpoints to consider. I think that's really going to be an energetic template that helps our world to come together in peace and harmony. So I'm super excited to dive into this with you today, my friend. But first of all, we should probably get to the puppets now that I'm sure we've got a couple new viewers out there. If you're new, say hello. We're going to share with you what the heck the puppet show is that Coach Nick is talking about. So what we like to do every week is we like to go back and revisit the comments from our previous episodes. And Nick and I both pick our favorite. And we don't just pick our favorite comment, but we also do something called puppetizing you. You get puppeted. All right. So Coach Nick, your puppet for this week. Hang on, I'm trying to paste it in the comments here.
Drum roll.
Drum roll, drum roll. All right, go.
It is Dwayne Richards. You have been puppetized. That's awesome. So Dwayne is really cool. So his comment was a number of people use social credibility, and this was in regards to last week's show, which you can check out after you finish watching this show, which was all about role models. And I think it's actually really kind of cool how we talked about role models, and now we're going to talk about, gurus, because in a way, role models are a type of guru in society. We talked about celebrity culture and who we lift up in our society as our role models. So Dwayne's really cool, and he talked about, that many people use social credibility. Now, I'll just give you a little insight, quick insight to Dwayne, because I interviewed him on my show, The Inside Scoop. So you see these color vials there. Dwayne is actually a financial planner, but he's not just a regular financial planner. He's got a real spiritual side to him. So he uses colors to match you up with your financial blueprint. He can really understand your financial habits through colors and the way that you look and choose colors. So he uses these colors to identify what kind of financial blueprint you're working with, what kind of energetic financial blueprint you have. And then he helps you create a financial plan based upon your financial or energetic blueprint. So he's not just your regular type of financial planner who's going to sell you a mutual fund if it's not important for you. He uses colors to be able to identify where you're at energetically when it comes to your money, and then helps you create financial plan from it. So really cool guy. Dwayne Richards, you have been puppetized.
I love that. I was going to ask about those vials of color at the bottom, so I'm glad you explained those. That is so cool. I have never heard of anybody applying color to our financial blueprint, although I've applied color in energy healing many times before. So it absolutely makes sense that we can use vibrational energy all around us to affect different kinds of healing. That's really cool. I love that. Okay, so my favorite comment from last week comes from House, who said, "We aspire to be our greatest light in this world." Absolutely, we do. And even people who don't realize that they are doing their best, it's a good thing to remember, guys. People are always doing their best at any point in their life. So this kind of has two meanings for me. First of all, for all of those of us, and especially you guys who are here today coming together, kudos to you for making your awareness and your spirituality and the growth of your consciousness your top priority. Kudos to you for aspiring to shine your light in this way. But don't forget that everybody on the planet is doing the best that they can in every single moment. So allow that to just inspire more compassion in you as you're moving throughout your day, interacting with other beings who are experiencing whatever it is they're experiencing on the planet. Because, many times there are individuals who have a lot of heaviness, a lot of density, a lot of emotional things that they're working through. So remember to have that compassion in your life. And Kim Knowles Outhouse is our puppetized reminder. By the way, Kim is also the owner of Divine Reiki Energy Healing. She's a Reiki healer shining her light in the world. So thank you so much, Kim, for showing up and sharing your gifts and skills and abilities. All right, let's go over a little Academy news so Nick and I can get to putting our boxing gloves on and talking about this guru topic.
I'm ready.
Kidding. So in Academy news, let's talk about magazine updates. You guys know the Akashic magazine is one of our awesome projects, our prized possessions, one of our babies here at the Akashic Academy. And if you have not downloaded your copy from, let's see, when was it? The April edition. We're doing something new in our July edition, and we want to feature you guys. We want to feature our readers. And we gave you this call to action before. We're going to give it again. Take selfies of yourself reading the magazine, wherever you're reading it, on your laptop, on your phone, whatever you're doing. Get a picture of yourself reading the magazine, and we want to do a new feature inside our next magazine where we feature you guys, where we feature the readers. So make sure you take those selfies, get those into submissions at theakashicacademy.com. And furthermore, if you'd like to write an article for our next magazine, we encourage you to do that. Share recipes, share stories, share. And that's all I have to say about the Akashic magazine. I want to move on to the Akashic Network, which is, again, another one of our very endeared projects here at the Akashic Academy. We have a new show that we are launching next week. Caitlin Batters will be coming to us live on Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Caitlin is an awesome light in this world, you guys. She is a young mom. She is smart. She is intuitive. She's inspirational. And the name of her show is Real Life Lotus Talk. She's got some very, very special episodes, some special knowledge to bring to you guys from a really cool perspective, being a young mom here on the planet, being somebody who cares about changing the planet. She's really, really smart. So I'm excited to be premiering Caitlin's show, Real Life Lotus Talk, this Monday. Set your calendars. Make sure you hang out with us. And as we continue to expand here, you guys know that I have been moving out into the community doing workshops. And the next workshop is scheduled in Truckee, California for June 16th. So if you are on or around this area of the globe and you want to participate in that intuitive development workshop, it's going to be a live 2-hour workshop where we go through strengthening our psychic abilities, doing attunements and activations. So I invite you to reach out to me if you're interested in hanging out in person. It's really, I find that the energy is really powerful, and it makes me excited as we continue to expand and create space for in-person programs, retreats, and workshops as the Academy grows. So if you want to be a part of the ground floor of those, I invite you to get in touch with me. And with no further ado, Coach Nick, let's talk about being a guru.
All right, fantastic. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of just a little quick history lesson about the word guru, so that you can have some context around the word guru. So just like the word Akashic, just like the word mantra, like the word yoga, so many of the words that we use today in spiritual language, it all comes from the Vedic text or the Vedic culture. So if you guys know what that is, so ancient books like the Mahabharata or the Bhagavad Gita or the Ramayana, these all, the Upanishads, these are all make up what we call the Vedic literature. These are the oldest scriptures in the world, and they were written in the ancient language of Sanskrit. And Sanskrit is one of the most advanced languages in the world. So the word guru is a Sanskrit language. It's a Sanskrit word. And the word guru means dispeller of light, dispeller of darkness, excuse me. So anybody that is a guru who is dispelling darkness. And what is darkness? Darkness is ignorance. And how do we dispel ignorance? Through knowledge. So ultimately, guru means teacher. And depending where you are in the world, here in the West, we sort of mystified this word guru. It's sort of normally associated generally in the context of a spiritual teacher, but the word just means actually teacher. So anybody is a guru. If you learn from the cat, because the cat teaches you lessons on presence, your cat in that moment is your guru. If you're looking at how the wind interacts with the clouds and how the dynamics of nature is working, then actually the nature at that point is your guru, right? So guru means teacher. So anybody who is teaching you something is ultimately a guru, right? And so I just want you to understand what the word means in itself, so that you can have some basis around, what is this word actually meaning? So the question is, can you become your own guru, right? There's this idea of, can you become your own guru? So we're laughing because, we have a little bit different takes on this. Because the spiritual practice that I practice, bhakti yoga, right? We take to a guru. So we say that you come to a teacher, no different if you were going to be a lawyer. Yeah. If you were going to be a lawyer, you would go and you would take apprenticeship at a law firm, right? If you were going to be a construction worker, you would take to an apprenticeship through this construction company so that you can learn to build the houses or do the trade. Mm-hmm. We don't consider it any different in spiritual life. In spiritual life, we say you must take to a guru, right? So you don't become your own guru. You take to a teacher so that you can learn how to do it. And what a guru really brings to the table, it's no different than a coach, a mentor, a cheerleader. These are all gurus, because a guru in itself will help you with the details. So in our case, yes, we understand what you mean by becoming your own guru, following your intuition. And even in the Vedics, it says you should choose your guru wisely, meaning you have to use your own intuition and discernment to choose your guru, because the potency of your guru Meaning you should be very conscious and careful about choosing your guru, because their pure of heart, their intention is going to affect the way that they can teach you, and that will they truly guide you from a place that's in your best interest. So we say that you take to your guru. Once you've chosen your guru, you take to a guru, and you don't necessarily become your own guru, because then you could you could start to make up your own thing. Right. So our take is that you start to, because, we all have our little selfish desires. We all want to twist the teachings in a way that suits us. So a guru helps us stay on track and challenges us to just follow the teachings as it's presented. So that's at least my perspective and the way that I view a guru. Emily, how is it that you view a guru and the way that you've come to learn the role of the guru in life?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually agree with everything you said up until the point where you were talking about we might lead ourselves astray. Actually, under certain circumstances, you absolutely can lead yourself astray if you empower yourself too much to be very entitled in making your decisions. My perspective of becoming your own guru, and the reason why I invite people to explore what that means, is because my experience has been through my own process. Or my own journey in life. I've had some really, really amazing spiritual teachers. And Nick, I consider you a spiritual teacher in my life. I do find nature to be my spiritual teacher many times. I have many spiritual teachers. And we talked a little bit before the show about how that correlates to soulmates. So many of us can get in our mind, you have one soulmate who is there for you. That's the one. This is the one. But truthfully, I believe, my truth is that there are many soulmates in our life. And soulmate is just a soul that you've agreed to accomplish a certain amount of karmic understanding, learning from each other, projects to work on in this planet, whatever the specific nature of your soul contract is. But we have many soulmates as we move along. We have many gurus. We have many teachers. My experience when I learned how to read the Akashic Records was information that was completely beyond me, but I was able to tune in to that Akash. And I love that we're talking about Sanskrit words when you're talking about guru being a Sanskrit word. Akash is also a Sanskrit word that means ether. And when I began to understand and learn how to communicate back and forth with the ether, it was like the ether was becoming my guru and using my own vessel to bring about knowledge within me. And it was a different experience than I've ever had by sitting in the presence of someone. Now, I've also had experiences of sitting in the presence of a very, very wise being. And it's almost like you receive information and shifting and adjusting just by being in that state of presence, regardless of how much of the message that you actually absorb or comprehend. I think that's a really important aspect of a guru. And I think that that's a lot of what your tradition is talking about when they say take on a guru, is making sure that you're putting yourself in that energetic environment to grow and develop the absolute best that you can. Now, also in my experience with learning to read the Akashic Records, one of the stipulations before you get into that space, there's some prerequisites you gotta uphold, is that you must come with the intention of the highest good for yourself and everyone involved. And that's where I differ the slightest bit with what you said about, well, you might be able to steer yourself off track. When you do this, meaning tap into that space with that intention and you are in alignment, I don't believe that you are steered the wrong way. Unless it's possible that making slight wrong decisions, what could be considered a wrong decision where you would have to suffer consequences, is in your best interest, is in your highest learning. So I believe every step along the way that we make is in our highest learning. So if you're coming with the intention of gaining knowledge that is in the highest good of you and everyone else involved, I feel like that gives you the opportunity to have that experience when people say every answer that you need is inside of you. That was my process to finding that, to figuring out and having an actual experience with what that really meant. I was receiving knowledge that was beyond what Emily could comprehend, but it was still coming from like within me, like the messages were coming to an understanding within me in a way that was so freaking magical. The only thing that I could name it was, this is how you become your own guru. And I get really inspired about sharing how to achieve that experience with other people. I think they're both really important. Just like so many things in this life, like when you talk about balance and finding harmony within that, I still seek mentorship in my life. Even though I feel like I have attained that space where I can go in a meditative state and receive any knowledge that I need to, it's still very valuable for me when I'm going through my process of life to have mentors and gurus in specific areas. So that was probably a very politically correct answer, because it involves everyone being right. But I think that this is an example of several layers of truth being accurate at the same time.
Yeah, it's always about context, right? What context you put it in, and this is where people argue over context, right? The idea of like the intuition or the inner guide, right? We call this Paramatma. Paramatma means super soul, or the God within, right? So God within enters your heart as Paramatma, and that's Sanskrit, right? And so Paramatma will guide you from within. So in the Sanskrit language, how it is explained is that the Paramatma within actually sees you, the soul. So there's within you, there's your soul, the individuality of who you are. And that soul is connected with the God within, or the Paramatma. Paramatma then can see the intentions or the desires of the soul. And so because Paramatma is within you, God within you, source within you, it sees what you wish. And so what it says is that the guru is an outward manifestation of the internal desire to know deeper truths. So for instance, if the soul wants to know a certain skill, Paramatma, through basis of, we'll call it law of attraction, will create the scenario where your guru will show up in front of you, right? And your guru will come. So it's that whole idea, when the student is, the teacher shows up when the student is ready.
Yes.
So the idea is that the guru, in the context of Sanskrit, in the context the way the Vedics present it, is that the guru is not you. The guru is the outside manifestation of your internal desire. So your internal desire is leading you, and is going, hey, do the records and learn this, read this book, go talk to this person, go meditate, go take a yoga class. It's leading you, and you're following that. And that's what you're considering to be the inner guru. It's this inner guide. All right. And so the difference is just in the word. The word guru, in the context of how it was presented in the Vedics, was that the guru is the outside manifestation of the internal desire. So God within you is leading you, and the guru is the outside person that's helping you stay on track. Because we can say, oh, I can get to the point where I am completely so in alignment with, with the highest realized self that I will not come off track. But the reality, at least for myself, I'll only speak of, is one thing that a devotee, no matter how evolved a devotee is, a devotee never thinks of himself as that evolved. Because it's in that ego that says, oh, I'm so evolved that I'm not going to go off track, that in itself is a way to get off track. Because we have to be in a humble state to receive guru. Because you can't receive teaching. The truth is most of us aren't coachable, and most of us are not teachable, because we don't realize how much our ego is still in the way. And so, that's the guru's job. I've been hanging out with my Guru Maharaj, right, Bhakti Mar Swami, all week. And I'll tell you, it's like just in his presence, I could think I'm so, oh, wow, I'm so evolved, until I get around him, who's a practicing monk for 40 years. And right away in his energy, I can see, where my ego is still in my life, kind of in the background, but his presence, he's the outward manifestation of my desire to know God. And so in his presence, I can see where I still want to grow, where I still need to look at things within myself to expand. And so in that context, that's the way we use the word guru.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And just for a slight bit of clarification from my standpoint, I don't necessarily evaluate myself as not being able to fall off track yet, because I definitely do in my life, and I actually value showing up and sharing that with you guys when that happens. Because one thing that I have recognized is I'm able to unplug and observe myself so that I can kind of see where my missteps are, where my ego is taking over more of my decisions than not. But I know that if I need to be put in check, and I ask my Akashic Records from that space of wanting to know my highest good, and show me where my ego needs to be put in check, I know that I can trust that there's going to be a no bullshit answer in terms of, this is it, this is why, let's examine these things, let's heal these things. Because I totally agree with you that a more true classification of somebody who, or I should say maybe characteristic of somebody who is on this path, not necessarily going to characterize themselves as, oh, I'm enlightened. It's just like, Buddha said, a true Buddhist doesn't call himself a Buddhist. He says, I am practicing Buddhism. Right. And it reminds me also of a really cool spiritual riddle. And I shared this like several years ago. I'll share it really, really fast. So, and if an enlightened man, let's say, shows up to a black tie party and he is completely not dressed correctly, let's say everybody else is in their tuxes and he shows up in like beach gear, how does he handle that situation? And you kind of go through your mind, well, he could excuse himself and go change, or he could just make a joke of it or make light of it. The answer to the riddle was he wouldn't even recognize that he was dressed not like everybody else. It's not what he's looking at. So I feel like, yeah, it's if you are really truly on that path of the highest good, and you are on that path towards enlightenment, you generally don't step outside of that and like evaluate how we're doing on that process. If you do, that's your ego. It's a sign that your ego is coming into play. So have a nice little conversation with your ego to sort yourself out. Or give me a call. I'll help you sort it out. That's totally fine. The most important thing, and one of my favorite things that you said, my friend, was that idea of following that intuitive path where it leads you. Like when you feel that need to go meditate, go do that. When you feel that need to go show up to that community gathering where Swami's coming and he's going to speak and Coach Nick's going to show up and sing and play the cymbals for you, like do it. Allow yourself to follow that your own process of your unfolding, because it can look different for every single person. I can tell you, while Nick and I define this word guru maybe a little bit differently, maybe a lot the same, both of our goals on this planet is to be of, and Kim's too, be of the highest light possible, be of the highest service possible.
I just want to hold my puppet up.
and so there's space for you to have your own individual journey. The biggest thing that you need to know is you've got to give yourself that space to trust your intuition, to follow it. You have to put yourself in an energetic frequency where you open up and say, I am ready for a guru. And allow whatever that wisdom is that needs to show up for you to show up for you. So let's do a little activation today where we just put ourselves in that frequency, where we strengthen our trust of following our intuition, and let's create some space. Let's open up some space for our next guru, whoever your next guru is, whatever your next guru is, to clearly emerge in your life, because we're all continually on a process and a path of learning and growing. So before we begin, before we tune into our breath, just set the intention that this short time here together will create the space, energetically create the space and a pattern in your life where you can receive your next guru. And we're going to use our breath to expand our energy field. So nice deep breath in. And I want you to hold at the top. That's the place of 0 point energy where you can create some expansion and exhaling. And allow your breath to focus you in this moment as well. Nice deep breath in. Pausing into that 0 point energy, holding that space for your guru to appear. A nice slow exhaling. Softening as you exhale, create that open receptive state, that relaxed state, so that you can receive that energy when it comes to you. Deep breath in. Inhale is the space creation, creating that energetic template for our gurus. And then a nice slow exhale. Exhaling, you're creating that softened, relaxed state to receive that energy. One more nice deep breath in. Creating the space. If you don't have the mental space, if you don't have the emotional capacity to be coachable, your guru is not going to show up for you. Or your guru is going to show up to show you that you don't have the time. Let's just get down to business. Exhale. Soften so that you can receive. Let's get out of our own way and just receive the wisdom that comes into our life. Deep breath in. Creating space for that. Oh, I felt that inhale was bigger for me. I don't know if anybody else felt that out there, but my lungs took on a bigger capacity that time of air. And exhaling, getting really soft in your bones, your blood, your body, your energy field, so that you can receive that. And just sit for a moment in kind of in a shavasana state, just an open, relaxed state, and allowing that energy to integrate. Soaking in, sinking in, stabilizing in your energy field. Good job. And when you're ready, slowly release the meditation. You can move your body around a little bit to help you come back. Wiggle your fingers and toes. How'd that feel for you guys? How'd that feel for you, Coach Nick?
Oh, nice. It's always nice to, ground, center, and meditate. So I love it.
How'd that feel for you guys out there? Let us know how that went for you. Christy said she understands both sides of this. Yep, divine guidance can be your guru too. And you guys know I like to look at things in patterns. And the energetic pattern that this creates is, guess what? We can all have space for each other to have our own experience in life, to experience that which is important to us. Take that into your lives when you're seeing your family's lives play out a certain way, when you're seeing your friends' lives play out a certain way. Start to create that space within yourself to allow them to experience whatever is important and necessary for them to experience here on the planet. Send them blessings, send them love, and create space for tolerance, for understanding, for being able to detach from your perspective and go over to your buddy's side of the screen. Look, I'm going over, but I'm not appearing in your screen. What's happening?
What's going on with that? Yeah.
And if you take anything away from this show today, in my opinion, it's really about creating space for tolerance and creating space for wisdom to show up in your life. How about you, Nick? What are your takeaways?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the biggest takeaway, and I think ultimately from the beginning, of our relationship and the dynamic of the Academy, and this has been embedded in the conversation of the Academy since we've come together, is can we create a space? And it was almost like an experiment. Can we create a space where different perspectives are built into the actual process? So can we create a space where open discussion is welcome, and where the community as a whole understands that open discussion is welcome, and that everybody is welcome to approach spirituality in what makes sense for them, and then what speaks to your heart you move towards. Because regardless, we're all on the spiritual path. We're all trying to become the best versions ourselves and realize ourselves in the highest way, right? We're all want to be puppetized. I mean, at the end of the day, right? That is the goal. So I think the big takeaway is, hopefully we set a small example of how it's okay to have different thoughts and opinions, and not to get caught up in the minutia of things, but really dive down to the essence of things. And, that's what my Guru Maharaj teaches, is he talked about the lotus flower in one of the talks he did just a couple of days ago. And he said, the idea is to get to the essence of the lotus. What is the essence of the teaching? What is the essence that Jesus taught us? What the Buddha taught us? What Krishna showed us? What is the essence? And really get to that essence. And once you have the essence of it, then you can enjoy the diversities and the differences, because you're still holding on to the essence. And the essence is what brings us together, while we can enjoy the different diversities of the way that we experience that essence. So it's a wonderful, wonderful takeaway. And hopefully we showed a small example of that today.
Absolutely. And if you guys want a bit bigger example of what's going on when you get to come hang out with Coach Nick and I'm going to invite you to click the link. I'm going to go back and put a link in the comments for you guys to share with you what's going on inside the Akashic Academy. Because each week, Nick and I show up and do live workshops. Nick teaches mindful living every Monday, and I do an intuitive development workshop, which is a private channeling transmission from the Galactic Federation of Light designed to all of these workshops are designed to help shift us, help bring awareness to our life, help us step into the multidimensional aspect of who we are as leaders here on the planet, as leaders in our family, as people who are here to grow and learn together. And there's some massive growth happening within the membership program of the Akashic Academy. And if you want to know more about how to have access to these weekly workshops, as well as full and new moon ceremonies every single month, I want you to reach out to me, hop on my schedule. I want to share with you about what opportunities there are to continue to learn and grow with Nick and I, and a beautiful family of very, very powerful individuals who are holding space for learning and growth and community in a way that inspires me. Like, honestly, this project of what the Akashic Academy is becoming is one of the overall greatest projects I've ever been involved in my life. It is not only creating space for you and I to grow, Nick, but for the planet. And the work in there is just really, really powerful. So I want to personally invite you guys to come check out what's going on inside the Academy. Have a great rest of your week. Of course, on the weekends, on Sunday, there are 3 shows for you all day long. You can binge watch on Sunday. We've got spirit sessions, followed by Nourishing Your Multidimensional Body, and in the evening, Janelle Cameron's Cosmic Ascension Report. So tune in on Sunday, and we will see you guys here again next week. Have a great day. Namaste.
Namaste.